Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we are going to check fresh release from Eduard. As you can see, it's a fresh book in weekend edition series, and that's not a book, that's a kit. Sorry. So it's a Spitfire F Mk.IX in 1/48 scale, and as a weekend edition it should be a bit more accessible because it does not feature any accessories in form of masks and PE, and therefore you will be able to get it for a cheaper price, let's say straight. So we have a commercial sample, and it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. We are going to open it together and see what is actually supplied in this nice box, and I have to say that box art is really beautiful. And it would be interesting to see if Eduard will actually release it as their poster. As you remember, they release the box arts as special posters which you can buy and put on your wall, and that's really cool because it gives you a chance to have this nice artwork in your room. So first of all, box size is standard for this brand. Here is comparison with my hand. Next, on the side here you'll find some information about manufacturer, also some safety advices for the kit. And of course on the opposite side you can see 4 marking options which are included here. They're quite colorful, I would say surprisingly colorful for this aircraft, so it will be good to open this box in order to check what is actually supplied inside. This is a top opening box, and the inside frames are packed into several plastic bags. Separated would be, let's say, too much because we have only 2 plastic bags, but they're sealable, and I can see that clear plastic sprue is packed into separate plastic bag as well. So just give me a second to take out all this stuff and we will take a closer look together. So as I said, clear sprue comes in this separate Ziploc bag. It's easy to open and it should preserve parts from any possible scratches or other damage which can occur during shipping such thing. And here you can check them closer. So these are quite nice parts. Again, I remind you that there are no masks included, so it means you will have to cover all this stuff with your own stickers, or you have to buy the separately sold mask set, so it will be up to you what you choose. But again, molding quality seems to be fine, and you can open the cockpit on your model. Next, we continue with a gray plastic sprue. So here we have wing parts, and I have to zoom out first so that you can see what is actually included here. So parts division is typical for such aircraft kit. We have flaps molded in, and also ailerons are separate. Well, for the flaps you have to buy a separate PE set if you would like to copy them drop down. But external features, if I zoom in, you can see that we have nice rivets and recessed panel lines, so everything looks cool, and it's just a matter of bringing out all these features, or maybe not overdoing the paint layers and primer paint on your aircraft. Inside we have guiding elements, so it will be easy to align these large parts together. And of course wing edges, just like in any Spitfire kit, they are molded separately. We will see them further in the video review on the next sprues. So I will put this plastic frame aside, and the next one is dedicated to fuselage halves. Both are molded together with tail fin, but you can notice that cooling halves, this is not a one-piece panel, and that might be a bit tricky because you can get gaps or seams in this area if you won't be careful. So pay attention to this section because otherwise it will be noticeable, especially in such large scale. And if I zoom in again, you can see that we have really nice external features on this fuselage halves. Well, it's as good as previous versions of Spitfire from Eduard, and this kit or Spitfire is actually considered as one of the best, and you can see it's well deserved. And here, by the way, inside we have guiding elements which will help you with alignment. Touching points are really thin, so it will be easy to combine everything together. And do not worry about cockpit parts, because cockpit is actually assembled separately and then inserted in between fuselage halves. So that's where we can move on to these large frames. Here you can see that we have mix of various parts, cockpit walls. We have also cockpit bulkheads, pilot seat here, separate ailerons, various minor parts for external and internal features. And here I guess we can zoom in and check one of the corners. So here you can take a look at wing edges as well, or wing tips. Here is another wing tip. Next we continue with cockpit walls, also elevators and rudder. Next we continue with some bulkheads. Here we have bombs. Next we continue with tail wings, which should be glued out of two hulls. And there are several types of these parts, so be sure to use the right one so that you won't get, let's say, really weird combo of parts which were not present on particular aircraft type. Next we continue with another large plastic sprue, and this is actually the last one here, and I can zoom in a bit. Again, we have several versions of different parts, and again you have to be, let's say, careful while choosing these parts so that you use the right ones. But molding quality seems to be as good as on the previous sprue, so I don't see any possible issues here, and that's why we can move on to the next plastic bag, which is dedicated to decals. There are actually two decal sheets, and again it will be interesting to see the year difference between them, because the main one is printed in 2021. Obviously both are printed in Eduard, but here you can see the main one with all necessary symbols for floor marking options. And here you can take a closer look, which is I mean, it looks really good, and it's really cool to see the cockpit decals. We have instrument panel, we have also seat belts, and all this stuff should be, I would say, enough for out-of-the-box build. But that's not all, because we also have stencils, and in 1/48 scale, that's a welcome addition. And here you can see 2013 printed on the bottom of this decal sheet. So it gives you an idea about, let's say, when the first Spitfire release happened. Here we have assembly manual. This one is printed in form of a typical Eduard brochure, quite large one, and color printed, so you have a color printed instructions inside. By the way, let me also show you what will be reviewed in the separate video. That's a special PE set which is released for this kit. It will add some extra features in the cockpit and also outside, so stay tuned and definitely check out video review with this set as well, because it's really handy addition which will bring you some extra features in your aircraft. So here we have short history note on the first page, and if I flip over this page here you can see parts map, and maybe I'll close the lenses a bit so that it won't be that bright. So blue color means unused parts, and you can see how many of them will actually stay in your spare parts box. So that's why I was saying be careful and keep track of what you have to install here and there. Next we continue with the cockpit assembly. So it's I would say even the plastic only cockpit is really nice, and if you get that separately sold PE set, it will add even more features. Next we continue with assembly of the fuselage halves together. Do not forget that you can replace the cockpit and also the engine, well, add the engine with help of brass insets. So if you are willing to spend a bit extra, definitely go for it, because it will be quite an interesting result. Next we continue with the wing assembly. Wing gets installed to this fuselage sub-assembly. Then we assemble these two cowling halves together. We continue with the tail fairings. Here we assemble air intakes and this chin panel, and it's really interesting why this chin panel is molded as a single piece part, but we get the cowling cover as a two-piece assembly. Next we have landing gear installation, both main landing gear and tail landing gear. Here you have to install the canopy parts, propeller, and of course, canopy can be assembled in closed and open position. Next, we continue with an aircraft that's a first marking option from February 1943, classic camouflage for Royal Air Forces. Here we have another aircraft from Sicily, July 1943, one more from April 1943, and there should be also a blue aircraft from July 1943. It was based on Malta. And of course we have a separate paper or a page dedicated to stenciling guide, and here you can see all the accessories for this kit. which is really cool because it will give you even more features in your model. In 1/48 scale it will be quite a valuable addition, so definitely think about these accessories as a really great thing to enhance appearance of your model. So overall, kit should be already available, as well as the add-on set which I showed several minutes before. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!